Everybody, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Today's January 31st, 2025. It is a Friday, as we get into it. Much love to all the listeners, all the watchers, the Wrench Gang and the family. I appreciate all of you as we get it going. We got some interesting stuff going on today. Justin Tucker is in the news for all the wrong reasons. Terry Rozier also as well. And Kendrick Lamar and Drake, Super Bowl feuds as far as songs there. So we got some stuff to talk about today. Make sure you guys hit that like, that thumbs up. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe, click that bell, turn on your notifications so way you don't miss a stream as we get into this one. Flint says, what up, man? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. All right, let's dive right on in. Ravens Justin Tucker says massage therapist allegations are false. Says they are false as we get into this one.
To some serious allegations against Ravens kicker Justin Tucker. Tucker is accused of inappropriate sexual behavior by 6 massage therapists in Baltimore in that area, according to an investigation by the Baltimore Banner. The allegations reportedly occurred between 2012 and 2016, which were Tucker's first 5 seasons in the NFL. About an hour after the Banner article was posted, Tucker called the allegations, quote, unequivocally false, adding, I have never before been accused of misconduct of any kind, and I have never been accused of acting inappropriately in front of a massage therapist or during a massage therapy session or during other body work. League spokesman Brian McCarthy said they would look into the matter, and the Ravens said in a statement they take allegations of this nature seriously and would monitor the situation. We'll keep you updated if any more information comes to light. To some serious allegations.
So there you go. I mean, this is kind of interesting, right? Justin Tucker, being in the news. We've heard these kind of stories before. We've seen these kind of allegations before, and we've seen these kind of situations settled before. But it says the allegations in Baltimore Banner article about me are unequivocally false. I have never been accused of misconduct of any kind, and I've never been accused of acting inappropriately in front of a massage therapist or during a massage therapy session or during other body work. Well, just because you've never been accused of it doesn't mean that you didn't do it. It also doesn't mean that you did do it. And so this is, very interesting. Very interesting. We've heard this time and time again, and it's really sad, right? Justin Tucker, we all know him as, one of the best kickers in the league. Money from 50 plus, clutch moments. He'll go out there and get you 3 points or potentially get you a win in a game. I've enjoyed watching the guy without a doubt. I've enjoyed watching the Ravens. Hell of a team. So this is interesting. This is definitely interesting as we get into it. It says Ravens kicker Justin Tucker is accused of inappropriate behavior by 6 massage therapists in the Baltimore area, according to an investigation by the Baltimore Banner. It says Tucker's conduct, according to an article posted by the Banner on Thursday, caused some therapists to refuse to work with him again and resulted in 2 spots banning him from returning. The allegations reportedly occurred between 2012 and 2016, which were Tucker's first 5 seasons in the NFL. About an hour after the Banner's article was posted, Tucker called the allegations unequivocally false in a lengthy response on social media. So it says in his post, Tucker said the article takes innocuous or ambiguous interactions and skews them throughout the proportion, so out of proportion that they are no longer unrecognizable. This is desperate tabloid fodder. Now let's back up here. Let's back up. Tucker says the article takes innocuous or ambiguous interactions and skews them out of proportion that they are no longer recognizable. He said, she said. They said, I'm saying. And this is tough because obviously now there's going to be, investigations and, the league's going to get involved. The team is going to get involved. And, we know how this works. We know how this works. Someone's looking for some money. Someone's looking for a payday. Obviously, if Tucker, did do these things that he is being accused of, then, we should expect to maybe see some kind of a lawsuit and some kind of a, settle out of court situation. If he did not do them, well, obviously he should be fighting it. And obviously the person or persons who are accusing Tucker of doing these alleged things, should be sued for slander. So as we keep it going, it says, we first became aware of the allegations from the reporter investigating the story as they were not previously shared with the NFL. League spokesperson Brian McCarthy said, we take any allegations seriously and we'll look into the matter. The Ravens issued a statement saying, we take any allegations of this nature seriously and will continue to monitor the situation. Attorneys for Tucker denied the allegations of inappropriate behavior, telling the Banner that it's speculative and impossible to prove. His lawyers also said Tucker has never been banned from the 2 spas. So that's interesting, right? His lawyers are saying that he's never been banned. I mean, how do you prove that information, right? How do you prove that someone's been banned from a spa? I mean, is there documentation of these situations that's happened at this spa? Is any of this on camera, right? Is there a meeting that happened on camera that's going to be displayed somewhere down the road showing that he was banned? So the lawyers were saying it's impossible to prove. Maybe there's video evidence. We don't know. We'll have to see. It says that Banner said it began its investigation after receiving a tip on January 9th. 6 massage therapists contacted the Banner, alleged that Tucker exposed himself, brushed 2 of them with his exposed, and then left what they believed to be, you see it on the screen there, on the massage table after 3 of his treatments. Oh my goodness. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. It's very detailed, very detailed. It says, I support a process that allows claims to be properly investigated, Tucker said in his post, but for the sake of myself and my family, I cannot allow these false claims to be unchallenged. I cannot be any clearer. These allegations are false and incredibly hurtful to both me and more importantly, my family. Tucker, 35, is the most accurate kicker in NFL history, converting 89.1% of his field goal attempts. He is the longest tenured player in the Ravens, who was also part of the team's Super Bowl championship team in 2012. This is wild stuff, y'all. Very descriptive, obviously very detailed. And I mean, here's where it gets really wild. I mean, at this point, people are coming out and being as descriptive as they are, and they're saying that this happened. If they can explain what you look like in these rooms and these kind of situations, it kind of sets you up for failure. And to be, the big problem is obviously this news gets leaked out, and whether or not it's true or false. Your family's going to see it, your friends are going to see it, and it's really embarrassing. It's embarrassing for you, it's embarrassing for your family, and it's embarrassing for the Ravens and, the NFL franchise, or the NFL as a league, because we've seen this time and time again, and on some sides it's actually been true. We know that these situations have been true, some of them, and they've been settled out of court and moved on from. And so when these things come up, it's like you raise an eyebrow and you hope that it's not true, but then at the same time, that things have happened between, with certain players out there. We're not going to name those players because it is what it is. So really, really unfortunate. We'll have to see how this unfolds. Let me know what you guys think in the chat, and we'll keep you updated. Let me get into the chat. Says Floyd says, I stopped watching the NFL halftime show years ago. Puppy and Kitten Bowl for the win. Shout out to TV Truck and says, on behalf of the Ravens, we have no response to these allegations. None. We have no response. I heard Mark Andrews put the story out to protect the subject of Mark Andrews put this story out. Hey, listen, y'all need to talk about Tucker. I'm out of it. Go talk about Justin Tucker. Leave me alone. Leave me and mines alone. Y'all can talk about him. All jokes aside, this is nasty stuff. This is nasty stuff. Very explicit, very detailed. And, if you've got, one or two, all right, fine. I'd say it's a money grab. You got 6 massage therapists coming out and saying that some weird stuff happened and that they felt uncomfortable. It's weird. It's weird. Like I said, we'll just have to see how things go and see what the evidence brings. See what the evidence brings. There it is. There it is. Shout out to you, Dan. Says you cure my depression more than you realize. Shout out to you, Dan. I'm glad I could be here for you, man. Shout out to you, Sassy. Says they believe what it was, being me. It happened even once. I'm collecting said stuff and having it tested. Also picture and video, so it's time stamped. Yeah, I mean, I would think in the age of social media, in the age of where we are now, you're gonna bust out that phone. You're gonna record. You're gonna you're gonna expose it. That's the world that we're in now, right? We're in the dawn of cell phones and all that other stuff, and people love to bring out that camera and highlight and detail whatever they can, whether it's to expose someone or make a quick buck. So the real questions now comes to, do these people have that? I'm assuming they're working in a professional atmosphere, so they would not, right? Especially if you're in massage work, if you're in body work. There's going to be a no cell phone policy. So, I think it turns into one of these situations where it's a he said, she said. And if, people are trying to make money, they're just hoping for a quick buck anyways to just, shut it down. So, it's potential that we could see some kind of, settlement to just make it go away. If not, right, because these, situations are alleged, right? These accusations are alleged. If Justin Tucker's going to fight it, take it to court and go that route, see what happens. But it's really unfortunate, right? It's embarrassing for the family. Most importantly, without a doubt. Shout out to Larry, says Bucks fan here. Dang, Ravens fans, how y'all doing? Reverend, what up, man? What up, though? Good to see you. Good to see you. Shout out to you, Dan. I appreciate you, bro, as we keep it going. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that thumbs up as we get into the next one. Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier, if you're not familiar, phenomenal basketball player, very talented, has been in the league for years. He is now back in the news in regards to a federal investigation. As we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like, that thumbs up. It says Terry Rozier under federal investigation in connection to illegal betting scheme. It says Jonte Porter may have not been the only NBA player involved in manipulating performance for sports bettors. Federal investigators are looking into unusual betting activity relating to current Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier during his time with the Hornets, the Wall Street Journal reported Thursday. The U.S. Attorney's Office did not immediately comment, and the Heat and the Hornets both referred to the NBA statement when asked for comment. It says the 30-year-old Rozier left a March 2023 game after playing the first 9 minutes, 36 seconds of that contest, and not only did not return that night, citing a foot issue, but did not play again that season. Charlotte had 8 games remaining and was not in the playoff contention, so it did not seem particularly unusual that Rozier would shut down for the season's final games. We refer to this as load management. In that March 23 game, Rozier finished with 5 minutes, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists in that opening period. A productive quarter, but well below his usual total output for a full game. Rozier has not been accused of a crime or wrongdoing, the report said. In March 2023, the NBA was alerted to unusual betting activity related to Terry Rozier's performance in a game between Charlotte and New Orleans. NBA spokesman Mike Bass said the league conducted an investigation and did not find a violation of NBA rules. We are now aware of an investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York related to this matter and have been cooperating with that investigation. Now, we see this from time to time, right? Certain players who go off and they get on a hot streak and then they kind of cool off, or certain, superstars that we know are expected to do, these specific kind of numbers or these specific kind of averages, night after night. and then they kind of just fall off, right? They once were putting up 28, 30 points, right around there, 25 points, and then just completely dive off, the next few games. They only may put up 10 points, put up 12 points, put up 15 points. And so, you start to wonder, well, what happened? What happened? What, did they just get cold? Do they have an injury going on? And, then you'll start seeing these guys, start, all right, we'll take them out. Oh, they got a hand injury, sprained the ankle, all kinds of stuff. And, this leads to a lot of bettors and a lot of, people who are involved with sports betting, get mad, get angry, get upset. And, we've seen it. Some of these people end up in the players' DMs, the families of the players' DMs, threatening their lives, all kinds of stuff. And it's really sad. So now you've got a situation where a player is being investigated in regards to their play and unusual sports betting. Now, there's also another player who is doing time right now because of the same kind of situation, who, after the investigation was concluded, showed that he was involved as far as with, performance issues when it came to rigging bets. So let's keep it going. It says bettors at the time discussed that there was inside info going around that Rozier would leave the game early. At least I was in on it today, one ex-user said. Get lucky that I was fed some inside info that Rozier was leaving in the first or second quarter, depending on game flow and live lines, so that his unders would hit. Now, this is wild. How would you know that? Where would that information come from? Would Terry tell someone else, allegedly, and then obviously it gets fed to someone else and then spread around? I mean, I look at it like this. Terry's getting paid. Right now, he's on a 4-year contract for about $100 million or close to it. Why would he need to share this information? Why would he need to contribute to anybody's sports betting? Or, is this just someone talking garbage on the internet and it's kind of spread and it feeds into a narrative that people would try to use because they lost some money? Or some people won some money. Some people won some money and some people lost some money. And that's how it goes. That's how it goes. When everybody's winning, nobody's mad. But when people are losing, guess what? People start to get mad. It says the user posted a picture of a bet on Rozier's under on FanDuel, a $122 bet, which won $100 in profit. You think if I was fed some inside information, I'm only putting $122 on the bet? Since prior to being acquired by the Heat, Rozier averaged 23.2 points per game with the Hornets, but has fallen dramatically to 12.1 points per game this season. Rozier is currently in the third year of a 4-year, $96 million contract he signed in 2022. Porter, a former Raptors player, was banned by the NBA for life after he was found to have limited his participation in games for betting purposes. He pleaded guilty in July to wire fraud conspiracy. So yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, one of those situations where, I think they're trying to see players' associations as far as with other individuals who may have been involved with, performance and sports betting and things like that. But we know that greed is a real thing also, right? We know that greed is a real thing, and you can never have too much money, right? You can never have too much money. And unfortunately, you just don't, want to see a player like this go out and, put themselves or get themselves in trouble, especially when they're already making money. They're already making money. They've been in the league for a long time. Why tarnish your legacy? Why put yourself in the spotlight like this? I hope that he didn't do it. I hope that, it's just a bunch of fodder and a bunch of words going around. But to say that, there's some huge illegal betting scheme on inside information from someone who bet $120 or $100 to make, or $122 to make $100. Now he put up 500,000 to make $1 million. Okay. I think there's some smoke to that potential fire. But $100, I think this is just some garbage. I think it's just some garbage. But let me hop in the chat. See what you guys are saying. Contracts and money aside, it's the playing with the heart that really makes it count. I agree. He had only $73.82. He had to borrow the rest so he could put the 200 on the light bill. Oh man, Zia Jean says the X was the turn to giving the illegal radio broadcast sent across the border of Mexico. That's what ZZ Tops heard. Heard it was on the X. Well, you know, it's Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the chat. Like I said, for me, we'll just have to see how this plays out. Once again, another story that we will follow along with and keep you guys updated for. Says garbage. What is his betting habits like that before and after this incident? Exactly. That's what needs to be investigated so we could figure out what's going on and understand it. Because this is kind of crazy. Not to say it's not happening because they investigated and found others were involved. So like I said, hopefully he's not, but we'll keep you guys updated. Shout out to you, George. What up, man? What's going on with you? Shout out to Darv. Says, hey, Jay, do we know if he was leaving to make the unders hit or the unders would hit because he was leaving? And I think that's the question, right? And not just even Terry now, because it then leads into, well, everybody gets investigated now, right? Because we see it. Well, some player, right, not really balling, you know, under, and you know, he's right where he normally is. And then he breaks out, and then, you know, miraculously somebody caught ridiculous overs that normally wouldn't be there. You know, all that kind of stuff is probably going to get looked at now. So we'll have to see. This could be the start of something that could be huge as far as, you know, sports betting and betting schemes and fraud and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. But back to the NFL. So the NFL had 182 concussions this season, down 17% from 23. Interesting. So what changed? What happened? Let's get into it. Says the NFL this season recorded its fewest number of concussions since it began tracking the data. In 2015, the league announced Thursday. The total of 182 concussions during games and practices in both preseason and regular season represented a 17% drop from 2023. The previous low for the same time period was 187 in 2022, not counting the 2020 season when COVID protocols canceled the preseason. The 5-year average, not accounting 2020, was 211.4 per season. In quote says, we're very pleased with the concussion numbers, but not at all suggesting that the work is done, said Dr. Alan Sills, the NFL's chief medical officer. We still have a lot to do to continue to make the game safer and reduce not only concussions, but to reduce avoidable head impact. So it basically then gives a breakdown as far as, you know, over the years. And yeah, I mean, you know, as far as games, practice, if I'm looking here, obviously, you know, less in practice than in games because, you know, they're not going as hard in practice. I mean, I wouldn't want to see that. Then it gets over to, you know, regular season as far as it goes down drastically as well. Preseason to obviously game time was a huge amount of increase there. But that's, you know, it's when you're taking it serious. Everyone's chilling out in preseason and relaxing and, you know, not really, like I said, taking it as serious. Regular season when things are going to step up and then you get into the numbers combined there on the right side for preseason and regular season. So it's definitely good to see. It's good to see that it's going down. But then it also brings the question. It's like, well, you know, are we not seeing the explosive hits that we are used to and accustomed to, and that's why? Is it coming down to, you know, changing the rules like the hip drop tackle and, you know, changing the kickoff rules? I think those two things, you know, may have definitely contributed to these numbers coming into this season. And so, you know, I'm all for making sure that people don't get hurt and obviously, you know, bringing these numbers down as much as they can as we keep it going. Sills and Jeff Miller, the NFL's executive vice president overseeing player health and safety, attributed to the 2024 drop to a series of factors that included helmet quality, mandatory use of guardian caps for most players during training camp and regular season practices, The concussion rate dropped 43% on the league's newly designed kickoff, which is great. I don't like the kickoff, but hey, if the numbers drop, that's a good thing. It says, but there was the same total number of concussions on kickoffs in 2024-8 as in 2023 because the rule created more overall returns. So it really just balanced out. According to Sills, 35% of all players upgraded their helmet quality in 2024 based on the rankings published annually by the NFL and NFL Players Association. Typically, Sills said the rate is between 14 to 17%. In addition, about a third of the players who were eligible wore helmets specifically designed for their positions. So that's good. Yeah, less practice equals more injuries, right? Shout out to you, Chris Hall. So yeah, I mean, I still look back to people like Tua Tagovailoa who said, well, I'm not wearing the Guardian helmet. I don't want to wear it, even though I've had so many concussions. And hey, more power to the man. Hopefully, he's able to survive out there and not get injured again. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what happens as far as this next season. It says if you want to reduce the number of injuries, use the Guardian cap. New kickoff rule sucks, and that's what I've been saying, right? That's what I've been saying as far as the opportunities, as far as being on the field, and then the changes as far as the rules itself. How does that narrate the game, and how does that change as far as the not only the speed that it's played, but the contact and the hits that we see, and is the game changing for the better or is it changing for the worse? Just from a point of trying to balance player safety and the entertainment value of the game. Interesting. But hey, we'll take it, right? We'd love to see players not getting as injured. That is a win, without a doubt. It says if you want to reduce, yeah. It says meanwhile Tua keeps diving headfirst. It's wild. Fuentes says all you got to do is smack Tua in the back of the head and he'll get a concussion. He better start wearing that helmet. He said he's not going to do it, and unfortunately that's that man's choice. He's made a decision, and it is what it is. A lot of people felt bad for him, including myself, and I said, hey, if he decides to not wear that Guardian helmet or that Guardian cap, if he gets another concussion, I can't feel sorry for him anymore. I'm tapped out on the feeling sorry for Tua having a concussion when you make a decision to not wear that Guardian cap. So there it is. But let me know what you guys think in the chat. Next up, as we get into it here, Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar will be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. He's also been getting into a feud with Drake. This has been going on for a while now. They went back and forth as far as different songs and disses and so forth and so on. Who won that is debatable, even though it's Kendrick. But people are going to say what they want to say. It's debatable as far as, and it's subjective. I think Kendrick took it. But right now, Drake has not only taken UMG to court to try and get this song stopped as far as being played in the Super Bowl. But it's kind of shed light as far as the way, where music is going and where, hip hop artistry and things like that is going. You get in a battle, you get in a diss, you go back and forth with songs. We never seen this before. We never seen, a rapper take another rapper to court because of lyrics. It's really wild. And I don't know what kind of time we're in. Drake, I don't know what kind of time we're in when a rapper takes another rapper to court for their lyrics, unless, it was a copyright issue or something like that. But when it comes to disses and going back and forth, Tupac and Biggie would have never. They laid it out on the track, and it was handled on the track in the streets. That was how it was handled. Whoever won was decided by the people. They didn't go to court. They didn't do this and that. They didn't take it in front of the people and lawyers and all that kind of stuff. They kept it on the track, and the streets figured out the winner. Jay-Z and Nas, the same thing. They kept it on the track, and the streets said, all right, it's Nas. Nas won this battle. Tupac, Biggie won this battle. Tupac won this battle. Now it's Kendrick and Drake is like, no, I can't do it. We got to go to court now. People said I lost. We got to take it to court. Let's get into this one. It says all signs point to Kendrick Lamar performing Not Like Us at the Super Bowl. Fox teased the song during the NFC title game, and the rapper is reportedly dead set on performing the Drake diss track. Listen, if there's one individual who probably had the worst downfall in music history, and we're not talking money, we're not talking anything materialistic, we're talking purely from a point of status and clout, it would be Drake. You are at the top of the world. You are at the top of the music industry. You are music gold. You put out a song, it's going to be a hit record, you're going to make millions of dollars. You thought that you were the juggernaut of hip hop, and you found out that you weren't because you ran into a man who could demolish you at this game, at this level, in this specific lane. And so now you can't accept the loss. You can't accept the defeat, and you bring in the lawyers and you say, no, we got to stop this song from being played. It's bad lyrics against me. He's defaming me. I swear I'm from a different time. Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas. The streets determine who won. Not the courts, not the lawyers, not the labels. It's the people as we get into this one. It says one of the biggest non-football questions of the Super Bowl appears to have been answered. During Sunday's Eagles-Commanders broadcast, Fox teased Kendrick Lamar's upcoming halftime show Sunday with the instrumental track from Not Like Us. The rapper Smash It accused Drake of being, as you see there. On Monday, the U.S. Sun reported Lamar planned to perform the song at Super Bowl 59 on February 9th in New Orleans. Fox didn't use the cleanest song to promote Kendrick Lamar's upcoming Super Bowl halftime show. Why would they? Why would they? This is one of the biggest songs out right now. Top of the charts. It's on the radio every day. Why would they not promote this song? Because Drake doesn't want him to? Because Drake's in his feelings? Drake's always in his feelings. Says, while teasing the show during the Commanders-Eagles NFC Championship game Sunday, the network used an instrumental version of Lamar's Not Like Us, which he released in May 2024, as a diss track aimed at Drake amid a feud between the two rappers. It was the second song in which he accused Drake of misconduct. Following Meet the Grams, Drake's given name is Aubrey Drake Graham. In January, Drake filed a lawsuit in the Southern District of New York against Universal, the label for both rappers, alleging that the label approved, published, and launched a viral hit of a rap track that falsely accused Drake of being a PDF file. The suit alleges that Universal artificially boosted the popularity of the song, made a significant financial investment, and leveraged its professional connections to get the song played at the Super Bowl. On Tuesday, Drake is set for his final hearing in Texas, where he filed a similar suit in November against Universal and iHeartMedia, alleging they had conspired to artificially inflate the popularity of Not Like Us. Universal has sought to have the Texas case dismissed. Drake is seeking nominal, punitive, and compensatory damages. This is insane, wildly insane. I get it. Drake doesn't want to have the song played at the Super Bowl because it's bad, right? If you've got people singing the song along in the Super Bowl or on the radio, whenever, it's in, direct detriment to, Drake's character and who he is and, what he's about. But the people have decided that. It wasn't the label. The people have decided that. And, when you got people on TikTok dancing to the song and you got kids singing the song, you got kids singing the song and, everybody's, playing this song on the radio or, on their phone or whatever, you bringing up a lawsuit's not going to stop that. you bringing up a lawsuit's not going to stop that being played at the Super Bowl. There's a thing called freedom of speech. And let's not forget, you also said similar things in your records towards Kendrick. So for me, it's being a hypocrite. It's being a hypocrite. You know, you got you got in the kitchen and you got outcooked. And you know, the fire was too much for you. You tried playing with fire, you got burned, and you don't like it. So you said, "No, I got to go to the lawyers now. I got to get these lawyers involved because I don't like how this is going. I don't want that song performed in the Super Bowl." It's really sad. It's sad to see Drake go out like this. And personally, I think that Not Like Us will be performed at the Super Bowl as it's one of the biggest hits in the nation right now. And that's just the reality of it. But we'll wrap it up. It says Fox Sports, which will broadcast the game in the United States, is facing its own allegations of rampant misconduct. A former hairstylist for the network is suing, alleging harassment and abuse from talent and executives. That goes back to the Joy Taylor story that we talked about a few weeks ago. It also says it was announced last week that singer SZA would join Lamar in New Orleans. The Eagles and Chiefs face each other for the second time in 3 years on Sunday, February 9th. A year ago, the Super Bowl drew a record audience of 123.4 million viewers in the U.S. So there you go. Kendrick to perform Not Like Us, even though the lawsuit is going on right now. We'll have more information Tuesday as we prepare for the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens. Let me hop into the chat. Dan says, I want a real hip hop artist to play the next Super Bowl game. I mean, I think Kendrick's there. I think Kendrick's definitely made a name for himself for sure as far as being one of the elites in the game. Kendrick makes songs that shifts cultures. Ain't no way he shouldn't perform it. Even beyond the beef that song is based off of, the Not Like Us shows up everywhere, even in sermon titles. Tyrone says Drake don't have a BBL. BBL Tristan. That was crazy. That was a crazy one. Shout out to Sassy, says I just seen the Dove commercial using the song My Neck, My Back. What are they thinking? Listen, it sells. It sells, right? And that actually makes sense, right? Because you gotta wash your neck and your back, including the crack, right? I mean, you should be. Nobody. Let me stop. Please wash it all. Wash it all. Get you some Dove. Get you some Suave. Get you some Old Spice. Make sure it's nice and clean. Nice and clean. Nobody likes a dirty bum. Fuentes says trying to strike a chord and it's probably a minor. Could you imagine that line being dropped in the Super Bowl and everybody in the stadium singing that line? Oh my goodness. Listen, it will be absolutely insane. It will be absolutely insane if that happens. And I can tell you right now that, when you look at where Drake is right now and just what's going on, if that happens, that will be one of the biggest moments of hip hop for sure, without a doubt. It'll be sad. It'll be funny and sad, because I think that will definitely signal Drake's downfall more than it already has with this lawsuit, without a doubt. Reverend says that boy ego is crushed. I knew it was a rap when I saw Drake in concert and the crowd was chanting Not Like Us. That's wild. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. A little short day today. I got a lot of business to take care of, but y'all know I want to keep this consistent and keep the show going each morning. I got some meetings in about an hour and I got to take care of some stuff. So there it is. Shout out to you guys. Much love to the Wrench Gang, the family, all of you. We'll take a couple more comments before we wrap it up. Tyrone's the death certificate signed, sealed, delivered. Yeah, like I said, if they say that bar at the Super Bowl, I think Drake's done. I do. And don't get me wrong, I used to like the guy, made some good hits, some good, some good music. I think everybody at one point played a Drake song or heard it on the radio. Even if they didn't like it, they heard it just because of how big Drake is and how just how much stardom Drake has. You've heard a Drake song, whether you like the guy or not. So shout out to DJ Jeans. Does Taylor Swift will be playing the Super Bowl celebration? Sassy says my dad's 70th is tomorrow. Got lots to do. Have a wonderful day. Shout out to you, Sassy. Happy birthday to your dad. 70. Let's go. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to the pops. So there it is, y'all. Have yourselves a great Friday. And we'll keep it going. I'll keep you guys updated with the news and all that good stuff. Make sure you hit that like, that thumbs up, and of course, subscribe. Have yourself a great Friday. I know I will. I got to get back to it, though. Back to the grind. Peace out, y'all.